Welcome, Virgo, to your Saturn Sextile Pluto deep dive forecast for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. For the first time in 13 years, Saturn and Pluto are at 60 degrees, one of astrology's most enabling angles, the sextile. But what will it mean for you? From now through to the end of April, within 3 degrees, it's going to be a very powerful influence. But it has been broadly going on since last May. I'm going to unpack what you can expect, Virgo, in terms of your energy, your work, your relationships, but also your finances. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundel. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to the channel, please do so now. First of all, some archetypes. Pluto in the sign of Aquarius, very much about the collective, Pluto, but the sign of Aquarius, very much about the community, how we all link to one another. But for you, it's in your sixth house, a real echo of the energy of Virgo. And because Pluto can be about change and transformation, it may be around things about your work, your obligations. It could be around your physical approach, what you eat and drink, the amount of exercise you've got, that Pluto's provoking you and has been since the second half of November 2024, full time to consider changes. But here's the thing with Pluto. If we go for the change ourselves, it tends to make those changes much easier. If we're not aware of them, we're unconscious of them, and that can be part of Pluto's role. What's hidden, the changes can be in some ways enacted upon us. Now, in the sign of Aries, Saturn's in its four, so it's not a great location because Saturn is about outcomes and consequences. Aries is about initiation. Its ruler Mars, all about thrust, excitement, risk. Saturn is very counter to all those energies. But that doesn't mean to say that this is going to be exclusively challenging. But I think the eighth house can be about long-term finance. It can be about shared resources. It can be about deep intimacy. It can be about being more entrepreneurial, but also it can be about at a more psychological level, what we need to release, what's no longer serving our greater good, but moving towards being invested in the things that do work for us. So we're Saturn in Aries through the next 2 years to the end of April 2028. You're going to have to work because that's what Saturn's about at those areas. Now, Pluto can help you, as I mentioned, if you're up for the change, but Saturn can be resistant to change. So even if Pluto's suggesting them, somehow or another, Pluto could, in its link to Saturn, throw up a problem, a challenge. One of the areas could be, for example, if you wanted to change your job, very Pluto in the sixth house, and a partner was concerned about your financial contribution, even though they're in sextile, that's resistance. If you're in a romantic relationship where the intimate part of the relationship is not so strong, it's more functional, maybe Pluto can make you both aware of what might need to change, or if it doesn't change, that could be an issue for the intimacy of that relationship. If in terms of your own evolving situation, which in itself is very Plutonian, you're just resisting change per se, again, that can be more difficult for you. What can help you on this particular event, however, Virgo, is that your ruler Mercury and Mars in your seventh house can help you to sharpen up your listening now that Mercury's out of the retrograde, but Mars can help you to set your boundary. But they're both linking fabulously well to Jupiter, the traditional ruler of Pisces, mutual receptivity, in the part of your chart to do with your long-term future. So if there is something that you want to change, for example, you're not enjoying your job, your partner is concerned about the financial side of it, I think the way that you articulate your ideas can get them on side. Also, Uranus, the planet very much to do with change, is being very provocative itself, really giving you the opportunity pretty soon, by the end of the week we're in, Mars moves forwards and links in a wonderful sextile itself. And that's going to give you a little bit more desire to live in the moment. be a bit more risk taking. Because your sign is very conscientious, you're very aware of being committed, uh, fulfilling your obligations, working very hard. So these eighth house energies are quite complex, but I want you to know that with Venus in the conjunction to Chiron, if there is some healing to be done around perhaps a blockage between you and someone you want to be closer to, what Pluto can do in the sixth house is perhaps give you an opportunity to gain information, particularly around your physical well-being, which could help you in terms of a more intimate outcome. However, when it comes to your long-term financial situation, if you are someone who really wants to do something that's freer, more liberating, what Pluto may be saying to you is that you do need to give up some of the security and stability you have at the moment in order to really charge your situation up with excitement and passion. So it's not a straightforward sextile, this. It does have its downsides as well as its opportunities. I'm going to summarize those four areas for you, but if you've yet to watch your April deep dive monthly forecast, that's on the screen. You can sign up for your free daily written horoscope, fired to your device each morning for your celestial pit stop. Please see below for more. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, please check out my testimonials below. And you can get your personal horoscopes 50% off by seeing the link beneath this video. So to summarize, I actually think relationships could go through very much of a growth spurt if you're listening to one another and perhaps sharing some issues that one or both of you have kept out of sight. So there may be an opportunity here actually to release some of the inhibition by just sharing it. You won't necessarily get a total solution by having a discussion, but you can certainly change the energy. If you're profoundly wanting a much closer relationship with someone, this gives you the chance to work hard at it for sure. If you're wanting to transform your long-term finances, you can do so, but I think collaboration is going to be part of the process. But one of the things you do need to be aware of, if you are quite locked into how you've done it for a long time, that could also inhibit your progress towards recharging your financial situation in that fiery Aryan way that's definitely calling out to you. In terms of your personal energy, it is true the moon is in the 12th house on this event. So your sensitivity could be quite strong, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to hold you back. Just be aware that maybe some tender issues or strands that you haven't been sharing could be articulated, and through that, some deeper evolution in your world can unfold. All the best, Virgo. Take care and goodbye.